When you've got a special occasion dinner to make, why not consider my scalloped potatoes with smoked Gouda? Now this is a perfect side dish that goes with so many dishes, and they're super easy to make. You just have to have the right tools and the right ingredients. Now we're gonna begin with a mandolin slicer, and you're going to get nice even slices of your potatoes, and it's important that they be nice and uniform so they cook more evenly. Now, once we've got all of this prepared, we're gonna begin to assemble the potatoes. And you're gonna build this in layers, much the way you build a lasagna. You're gonna build this in 3 separate layers, so let's get started with the first layer. We begin with a 9x13 baking dish. Now, we've already sprayed this with a little nonstick cooking spray because this is gonna be nice and gooey and yummy, and you wanna make sure it doesn't stick. So once we have sliced those potatoes, your rule here is a third, 3 layers, right? So we want a third of these potatoes, and we wanna scatter them on the bottom of the baking dish. Make sure that this is a nice even layer, because remember, in addition to cutting all of these the same thickness, you wanna make sure that they're nice and evenly distributed so they cook more evenly and more nicely. So we'll get our potatoes in, about a third of the mixture, and you need a nice deep 9x13. There's a lot of potatoes in this dish, and there's a lot of creamy, cheesy goodness to go with it, not to mention onions. Now, you're gonna take a third of your sliced onions and distribute those. I like using tongs because it keeps your fingers from smelling like onions and also helps you more evenly distribute those onions. Remember, about a third of the onions will go on top of the third of the potatoes. Now, we're gonna take a little sprinkling of salt, lovely, some black pepper, some minced garlic, and just use a spoon and scatter this about, perfect. And then a third of your shredded smoked Gouda cheese. And remember your third rule, you're making 3 layers, so make sure you save enough for all 3 layers, because all of this builds together into something really fantastic. Now, we take a third of our heavy cream and pour that over top, and then we're gonna repeat this process 2 more times, cover this with foil, and get it into the oven. So now we have built all 3 layers, and this is ready to go into a 350 oven, but we need to cover it first with aluminum foil. Now, for its first bake, it will bake for about 30 minutes covered. Then we'll uncover it and push it back into the oven and let it bake for 45 to 50 more minutes. Now at this point, I want you to check your potatoes. If they're still a little firm, bake it a little longer, and then we're gonna take it out and let it rest. So let's pop this into the oven and begin the process, and the house is going to smell great. Smells perfect. Get this over to our cutting board. Garnish this with a little fresh parsley, and then we'll let this rest for about 5 minutes. That's going to allow the liquids to reabsorb and for the potatoes to thicken. So creamy, cheesy, the perfect side dish for a special occasion dinner. And don't forget, leftovers, always better the second day.